Hey everybody, I'm Jason and welcome back to From Tree to Lumber, a YouTube channel about a guy and his sawmill. Today's log is a Russian olive. It's a tree that was growing on my property and was kind of getting in the way. So just to start things out, I'm actually going to take you back to January and I'll show you the story.
This tree's been a pain in the butt for quite a while now. It took a decided lean a couple of years. It's been a little while. And now we've been cutting around it to do the lawn, and I bumped my head on it. Now the rusty old tractor barely fits underneath it. So the day has finally come for it to come out. What I want is, it's a fairly good size. What I'd really like is to get a couple of nice little logs out of it. It's really interesting looking wood. I'll bet you there's some cool green and whatnot going in there. I'll have to look it up and see what use it is. I mean, if it's completely useless, then I guess it's firewood, but I don't know. So I'll take it out and try to save as much as I can. Hopefully it's good looking wood.
So clearly this is not a very straight log. It's kind of, it's got a lot of stuff going on. Honestly, I really didn't intend on doing anything with it, but I thought, you know what, from what I've read, it's kind of beautiful wood, and well, we'll give it a try. It's probably going to get cut up into 1-inch pieces, maybe 1.5 inch, and then I'll dry it out and cut it into small stuff for little projects. But hopefully, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of branches, a lot of curves, a lot of weird stuff, and hopefully we can get some interesting things out of it and make something, I don't know, in the future to make it all worthwhile. See, we got this kind of crotch, and we got that big branch coming off there. The whole thing's maybe from 8 to 10 inches in diameter. So I'll probably I'm gonna have to cut it up into shorter pieces to maximize the yield from the sawmill, and probably I'll get like 3 5-foot pieces out of it, and well, we'll see what we get. I think I'm gonna cut this first piece off right at the end of this knot. That'll give me a piece there. I don't know, looks like it's about maybe 7 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet long. And I should be able to cut it into some nice pieces. It's the larger part. And then I'll take a look and I'll decide what I'm gonna do with the rest in just a bit. Now I'm really looking forward to see what this wood looks like. It's such a beautiful color. It reminds me of the cinnamon that I cut down in Grenada, or I've seen cut down in Grenada. Just a lovely, lovely shade of brown. So hopefully this will turn out nice and I get some nice wood out of it. Okay, so I'm just looking at this log again before I cut it, and I think I've made a decision. This half of the log here looks like it wants to be cut like that way, okay? But I think that end of the log wants to be cut kind of that way, so at kind of a 90-degree angle. So I think what I'm going to do, this is 6.5 feet long. I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'll cut the two in 2 different dimensions, and then I think I'll be making more out of the log. I mean, it's going to be cut up for shorter pieces anyway. It's kind of twisted, so I wouldn't use a long piece out of it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I think I'd be wasting a bit of the log. See, it's way, way off the bunk there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's got a bit of a weird shape, so I had to tuck this little sort of 3x3 piece of maple. It's actually a piece of the pith from another log I cut. See how it's cracking up? But it's perfect for this kind of thing. So somebody was asking me about this setup that I have for the water drip. The set that was on it broke almost immediately. So what I did is I actually this is an air hose connection with a 1/4-inch national pipe thread end. So I just drilled into the plastic, and I used the proper tap, tapped it out, tightened it in. I think I put some silicone around it. It's been 1.5 years now, and it's been fine. On this actual end, I cut it with a zip saw, and then I made a little 90-degree bend in it so it goes down. And then down here, this is a stainless steel needle valve. So it gives me really, really nice control of the flow. And then I've got a shut off down here, because once I get the flow set, I don't want to mess with this. So I just shut it on and off every now and then. The needle valve itself is a little bit loose, so sometimes during operation it'll vibrate. So a lot of times I'll just put a clamp on it just to hold it in place once I get it set up right. It's usually about a half a turn, as I remember. So if you watched the last video, you know that I experimented with a snowmobile throttle on here. It actually worked pretty well. The problem I had with it is I'd have to do a fair bit of modifications to get the thing to fit. So I've gone back to the original dead man handle, but I've made some modifications. I changed the angle of this this bracket here so that the cable feeds through properly without being stressed as it turns. Let's see if I can show you. See, so it pulls straight, it doesn't bend it. Okay, and then I remounted the spring so it's quite a bit higher. I just put a longer bolt in there to make it work. And it seems to be springing back really nicely now. So we'll see. There is a little bit of adjustment still if there's too much throttle when I let it go, but I'm hoping that this will work better. The one thing I don't like though is I really don't like how this handle sticks way out. I wish it was in a little bit closer just for handling with the tractor when I take the cutting unit on and off, but you know, other than that, it seems to be okay. All right, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. This Lifan 7-horse motor has treated me really well so far. So there's no trick. I just put the choke on, make sure it's just got a little bit of throttle, and it usually fires up in 1 or 2 pulls. Oh my God, look at this wood. Is that ever beautiful? Holy smokes. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. All right, got the next piece set up. It's a little bit longer than 32 inches, which is perfect. And the bunks are 30 inches apart. Looks like I've got it rotated about maybe 45 degrees from where it would have been if I would have cut it the other way. So, you know, I should be able to get a little bit more out of it. I'm looking forward to this piece because there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. Just moved it over so I can use my edge clamps on the flat side down. I like this because there's so little clearance on this. I can cut down to 1 inch thick and it holds it tight to the bed. It won't lift with the saw cutting. Really nice addition to the sawmill, I have to say. All right. Isn't that beautiful? This wood is something else. I hope it dries up okay, but it is what it is. If worst comes to worst, I'll just slide little pieces off of it. But I'm cutting them 1.5 inches thick, so hopefully they'll stay relatively stable. Okay, for the rest of the tree, I think I'm going to cut it right about there and get that sort of 4-foot piece, 5-foot piece. And then I'm going to, I think, continue with this branch here. I'll just cut that off there. It should fit in nice, and see if I can get something out of that crotch. Maybe I've got her on there. I've kind of got it upside down right now, so what I want to do is I just want to get a nice flat edge that will be the bottom. I want to do it that way so that I can flip it over onto my edge clamps, and I'm pretty sure the good stuff is going to come off the other side, but you know what, who knows. You can see how green this stuff is. It's still got branches coming out the side, even though it's been cut down for what, 6 months. I wasn't planning on it, but looks like I might have got a nice piece for a cutting board right there. We'll have to see how it dries out. But yeah, that was kind of unintended. I cut it about 1.25 inches thick. Why not? You know what? That's a really nice piece right there. It's probably about 3 inches thick at the best. So I think I'm going to leave that just like that. See how it dries up. It does have the pith in it, so it's probably going to check a little bit, but that's the way it is. If worst comes to worst, I will resaw it, this way vertically, and get some thin pieces out of it once it's dry. But I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Take my chances and see how it dries. It's a beautiful piece of wood. I'll get something out of it, even if it's just little tiny pieces. All right, last piece clamped in. This one was a bit of a challenge. Again, I've got her set up so that I can get one flat edge so I can flip it over onto the edge clamps and hopefully get something out of it. Not sure if there's anything really out of this I can get, but I'm going to try. Why not? There could be some really cool stuff. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and hey, it's only a piece of firewood. So let's give it a shot. That should be enough. 30-inch spaces to sit on the bunks, so those little clamps can get in. I think we'll be okay. Got her clamped in. Once again, rather precarious, but in. I had to use my little wooden stops to keep it in the cutting zone. Should be all right. That's what I'm left with. You know, these small pieces, you're always cutting close to the pith, so it's kind of a risky proposition. All right, so here's what I decided to do. I flipped it over. I'm just gonna cut it down to about 1.5 inches off the top of the bed, and whatever I get, I get. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll burn it. But I don't know, it's worth a shot, right? And I'm sure I can get some little pieces out of it. Maybe I can get a small piece out for a bowl somewhere, or maybe I won't, I don't know. But all right, so here's what I ended up getting out of this. There's a whole bunch of really nice boards, all of them minimum 32 inches, some of them sort of 4 feet. Varying thicknesses between 1 inch and 2 inch, a lot of 1.5 inches. It's starting to dry down, so it's losing a bit of its color, but it's still beautiful. So the next step, obviously, is to seal these ends up and get these things out of the sun. I'm probably going to store them indoors, let them dry out for, I don't know, a couple of years. It doesn't matter. I got them cut down and I've got lots of space. So, you know, time is our friend here. I think the key here is to dry these nice and slow. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and keep your eyes out. We're going to be doing some more work, cutting some oak soon, and starting our sawmill pavilion so I don't have to cut out in the weather. Take care.